Hey everybody, it's been a few days since I did a video. There's three little spots under the primer where there's some sand scratches in the 69 Roadrunner. You can see a bit of filler there. We got to touch those up, and this thing will soon be in the booth. Might add a bit of primer down there. I mean, that is primer, but we'll make it all one so that it coats real nice. But I took a little bit of a side tour today, or this week. And we did some custom stripes on this 1985 3+3 GMC dually. Wow, it's long. So the truck came in, it was half decent, and it was already blue. But the guy was kind of bored with it. He said from the day he had it painted, he was never happy with it. He said it's just too much blue. So we went with a little bit of a custom version of a 70s style two-tone. We don't do stickers here, that is paint. And I don't know if it'll show through on the video. It is not white. The color is called cream beige, and I believe it's 85 to 87 Cadillac. And then the blue is like a 1985 Chevy blue. There's probably a couple of them. I didn't do that, so I don't really know. Now from the factory, a lot of these trucks, if they did any kind of two-tone stripe, it just went underneath the back fender. They didn't even paint the back fender. But I seen a few that were similar to this. And basically we just added the pinstripe around the whole perimeter. We put a little taper at the back because it looked funny straight the way the box is. You basically just have to line your tape up and get a little bit artistic with it. Now you don't want a bunch of primer underneath something like this because you don't want to come up to the edge and you'll actually see like a weird line, right? So assuming you want to add stripes to something, you basically tape it. Now this was done with vinyl tape, not the skinny 3M green, but I did use that. How I pulled this off is I went from this body line to this edge with 3/4 green. Then I ran my blue vinyl tape here, 1/4 inch, and I ran the green, paper 3M tape here, 1/4 inch, and then another blue one here, and then I removed this one, which just leaves basically twin blue stripes. And you got to work your way all the way around. See, in the 70s they had a light back here and the body was different, but in this case we just went to where we were happy with the look, went round and round off the front edge of that light. And I mean, it looks pretty good. It's a stunning truck. It was kind of people own things for a long time and he never really liked it, and then eventually he got bored with it. All right, so back to the prep. We were talking about that. So what you got to do, because you can't run primer, after it's all taped with the vinyl tape, you got to come in here with a really sharp red Scotch-Brite and Scotch-Brite all of it really well. So under the line is Scotch-Brited, and where the two tapes, the tape was here and here. This is between the tape and this is the other side. So you Scotch-Brite all the perimeter inside that little line. And then inside what I did, I don't know if you can tell, it's not bad orange peel, but you can definitely see it, right? I think the camera's picking it up in the light. To pull off a stripe, the stripe can't be all peely like that, and I mean, this is an okay job on a truck. I don't think it was expensive when he had it done. It's about a 6-7 year old paint job. But after Scotch-Briting the living hell out of the edges, in the middle, I ran 400 on a DA and kept it in between just to make it smooth, because we wanted, well, look, see, that has like a, man, it's better than most OEM. This thing is smoother than my Dodge. It might be some of the nicest paint I've ever laid down. but the stripe has to be better. I mean, it'll be okay orange peeled too, but it wouldn't look right. I mean, and again, the truck's not terrible. Like, it's a good looking truck, but there's definitely a little more than an OEM orange peel in it. So the way I figure you pull this off is you gotta have that stripe as flat, as smooth, as creamy as possible. And I mean, it's not cut and buffed, but it does look like glass. In there it just stops, right? Because you can't run it in there. But you got to run enough in there. And I'd missed one corner and I had to touch it up on the other side. But you want to run it in underneath just so that it all kind of flows, right? There is some angles and stuff, so depending where you move it to, it gets weird, but when you're walking around the truck, it actually lines up really well. As far as straightness goes, it's fairly straight. There's a few little dips and dives in it, but this truck had a lot of dips and dives. So the other way to do these is they run the stripe a little higher at the bottom and actually run it up above this line. And then they basically run it right into under the grill. That's what they would have done in the 80s. But we didn't do that because when you look down the side of the truck and the doors, the truck looks good, but when you look at it from the side, you can see all these little wobbles. Now, you could have got away with your stripe way up here, but if you would have put it on here, like I say, there's some wobbles in there. Those wobbles would have made the stripe kind of dance and not look right. That's it for today. In the not so distant future, we'll do a how-to, and I'll show how to tape this all up. Cheers.